What's happening, everybody? Zach Evanesh here, and come to post-workout, hence the pale face and the sweat dripping all over my body. And here at my second location of the Underground Strength Gym in Manasquan, and I put out a video yesterday on really the guts of what it takes, the guts, or as Dan Kennedy says, the brass balls, to be successful for other people as an entrepreneur, for many of you as a strength coach, and then for even more of you just in life, the guts to go and do the work that so many people don't want to do and make excuses about doing. And I hate kind of doing the preaching. Oh, I'm preaching about this, preaching about that. I see it every time I go to a wrestling club. These guest coaches come in and tell the kids, work hard, do all your homework, And I ask them all the time, I go, does anybody here not know that they should be working hard? And they say, we all know it. I go, does anybody here not know or not understand that you should be kicking ass in school and really everything you do? And they all know it. But so many young kids, young men, young women, middle age, older, there's the procrastination. There's a lot of excuses, and some simple tickets really are you want to start to build momentum of harnessing your fear, facing your fear. And I started doing this in my younger years when I pulled myself out of depression. I remember sophomore year in college, that's when I felt like a whole new life happened for me. I was kind of in and out of depression through high school and freshman year in college. And I remember sophomore year in college, I built this zest for life, which you guys see through my videos. Those of you who have seen me in person at various seminars and workshops, you've seen my passion. That's not an act. I can't contain it. That's just who I am. And I remember doing little things to build momentum. Every time there was an opportunity to present the project, to present your work in front of the class, I volunteered to do it first. So I knew, I felt so nervous, but then I felt amazing stepping up and facing my fears versus letting the fears dominate me and push me around and kind of act as a bully. And I did that. That's how I grew my gyms, both gyms, is that at first it started out of my parents' garage, the backyard, the local playgrounds. And then I went into the first home that we bought, now my wife, but at the time we were just engaged. But the first thing we did was revamp that garage. And I remember being in the garage for a bit, getting comfortable, making a nice amount of money, training athletes, doing what I loved on the side, right inside my house, super convenient, working full-time as a teacher, had all the health benefits. It was just super comfortable. And one day, Alan Cosgrove said to me, he goes, if you really want to make your mark as a coach, he said, how big time are you if you're training in your garage? He goes, really? How big time are you? And I took that as a challenge because he saw that I was getting cozy, comfortable, basically going to work in the morning as a teacher, getting a very nice salary, getting a lot of benefits, then training athletes 1, 2, 3 hours a day, several days a week, sometimes 6 days a week. It really depended on the time of year. But he saw that it was comfortable. He saw my internet business grow, but it was like a challenge. And I said, man, I got to do it. And 1 or 2 times before that, I had checked out the space where the first Underground Strength Gym is, next to a commercial gym. And the owner at the time had leased that small garage for 5 years. He did it, to make a long story short, I think in a wrong manner. There was a gym not even a quarter mile up the street that was coming in. It was more of a higher end facility, a little more posh, a little more catering to like an upscale crowd. They had all kinds of different options of training. They had martial arts. They had all kinds of boot camps, spin classes. This is, 8, 9 years ago at the time when that stuff was quite popular. His gym was known for being, hardcore at the time. And he got nervous and he tried to compete with them, which in my opinion is always a mistake, to worry and look at what the competition's doing because it tends to steer you the wrong way. You start wanting to be something else or someone else that you're not in your heart. And that's a huge mistake. It will never lead you down the right path. On the flip side, you should want to just crush the competition. That's my competitive spirit. That's my edge. That's my mentality. I'm not into doing things for second place. But his business, that side business, went out of business, and they converted it into a gambling place. So when I checked it out the first time, the windows were tinted, there were poker tables everywhere, and the place looked huge. You know, ceilings were almost 10 feet tall, coming from a garage where the ceilings were 6.5 feet tall. The space was so much bigger compared to my garage, and it was nerve-wracking. And I left and went back about 2 times. I think it was twice before I went back finally the third time and said, let's go for it. Let's do this. And I was nervous about it, but I harnessed my nervous energy and utilized it to push me forward, to take all the right actions, the aggressive actions that so many people today don't want to do. And back then, the internet was very new to direct response marketing and learning how to market. People fell in love with that, and I still see it today where coaches don't want to travel. They try to do everything through the internet. They don't want to do stuff in person. But for me, I always felt best like this, sweating in a hot place where things were imperfect. Football coach asking me to train 60, 70, 80, 90 football players on a football field with no equipment. To me, that was no problem. That was awesome. All of those things, the times that I would get invited or the times that I found my way to make connections, I didn't let things take me over. I didn't let circumstance take me over. I took it over. I took it on and succeeded. And here we are at my second location. I want to give you a bit of a tour because when I first opened it, it was out of my element. The reason being is, as you see behind me, is you see the turf, all this turf. It was new equipment. I hadn't done that before. It was too pretty for me. It was bigger. It's twice the size of my first location. I felt like people could kind of hide away. So I changed things. I immediately brought in the older equipment, some of the homemade stuff. I took things and transformed them to resonate with my heart, my gut instincts. Now, if you're a soft-spoken, kind of easygoing coach, then move in that direction. Don't try to be someone you're not. If you're intense, passionate, aggressive, and that's how I am, then move with that. Let's take a look through this gym and give a quick tour. As you can see here, the keg, welded, filled up with water. A lot of old plates here, old weights. That's the original Hatfield squat bar. Had some bumper plates, but had to trade some of them out to get some iron in here. These plates here, you can see are Joe Weider 44-pounders. Some old bars, plenty of bars, bumpers, rings, good old squat cages. Was squatting today. Homemade platform on plywood and horse stall mats. Grip equipment here. Homemade Rolling Thunder grips. Of course, had to get a area here so you could hear this. Ain't no sweeter sound than the sound of iron. Look at these old plates, Gold's gym plates over there. Sandbags and tires, of course. Glute ham bench. Plenty of sleds. Stall bars that I gave Rogue Fitness the idea to make, and they custom built them for me. Sleds. Working here with Wodify, moving into that 21st century, got rid of all paper. And of course, a quote that we live by here. He is best who is trained in the severest school, Thucydides. Inspired by the book No Easy Day, that every day we need to break through barriers, break ourselves down, build ourselves up. American flag to honor all the men and women who protect this country. More kegs. They're welded shut. We got the strongman log, the circus dumbbell, more weights, old school Yorks here, and plenty of kettlebells sitting all around. So very simple, but what made me feel more at home was getting a lot of the older equipment. You've seen the old Hatfield bar, the old York plates, the York dumbbells, and you need to do those things to build the kind of atmosphere if you want people to be, if you're a strength coach, if you're training athletes, if you want them to be aggressive and intense, you can't make them too cozy. It goes back to Rocky 3, Rocky 4, where Apollo in Rocky 3 had to take Rocky back to the old school, South Central LA, at Tough Gym, where everybody has Eye of the Tiger. And then what does Mickey tell Rocky in Rocky 4? He says you did the worst thing as a boxer is you got civilized. And when you get civilized, you're in trouble. And I'm careful to do that for myself. It keeps my edge, meaning I allow myself to get too cozy. That's why I did this squat everyday challenge. Started, I think, November 12th or 13th. Today is exactly a month in, squatting every day. God damn, my body's hurting. But I needed that challenge to make sure I've still got this. This is something that you always got to push for. And when you have that mental toughness, you will do the right things as a coach. You will have the guts to wake up early, stay up late, do things, last minute. Last minute, I was contacted by a local high school football coach the night before to come in on my birthday evening and train his kids and talk to them. I could have said no. I could have made excuses, but I didn't. Instead, I made it work. I took my son with me, which is real special for me to do, and we went to the high school. I spoke with them just a little bit, then we kicked ass and trained, and right now we've got 20, 21, 22 of them have signed up within a week, and that's never happened before, and it never would have happened if I didn't have the guts to simply do the thing that most people would have made an excuse for. Oh, it's my birthday, I can't make it. It's this day, it's that day. Well, what's important to me is that living the code is to represent what I'm about, because if I don't represent being tough and strong and pushing the limits, then how can I expect that of anybody else? If you want to be a successful coach, you need to get yourself, obviously, your own experience, putting yourself under the bar, training hard, putting in the time, putting in the hours, and learning like a madman. In the first video, I explained how I would wake up well before the sun would rise, hit the road, drive good 12 hours, sometimes a little less, sometimes a touch more, to these seminars, spend a day or two at them. One time I flew to Chicago on a Friday night. I threw up so bad on that plane. Then I threw up in the taxi cab on the way to the hotel. And then right when I got to my hotel room, I threw up again. I can't even tell you how many times I threw up. But I went through that seminar, and man, I felt like shit. And then that Sunday, I paid one of the guys who was driving to Connecticut. I paid for his gas money all the way back. He dropped me off in New Jersey. Thanks to Jeff. But these are things that I always had to kind of push. And I never had it easy, and maybe I've, the law of attraction, I've allowed things or created things to happen that way. I do believe in that stuff. But I don't regret it, because I've done some special things, some great things for kids. And to me, it's like, now I can sleep at night. And I always know I could count on myself to build a business and to take care of my family. I just know I can, because I can't be fucking stopped. I'm like a goddamn Terminator. I won't stop till I'm fucking kicking ass and taking names. And as a strength coach, as a business person, as an entrepreneur, you need that thick skin. If all you do is read a few pages of that book, Thick Face, Black Heart, it teaches you to be tough, because people will do you wrong. They will do you wrong. You will get disappointed. But that's it's 1% compared to the amazing feeling and the beauty behind the transformations of really giving people all your heart. And if you can't do that, if you can't run your business from your heart, and if you just do it by the books, by the techniques, by the strategies, you won't succeed. It has to come from the heart. I'm Zach Evnesh. Make sure those of you guys that want to become strength coaches, are strength coaches, you're always trying to get to that next level, trying to become better, not just training-wise, but life-wise, learning, exposing yourselves, evolving as a person, exposing your weak areas, confronting your fear, harnessing your fears, and transforming that into confidence, strength, and power. Hope to see you guys at a future Underground Strength Coach certification. You can check it out at undergroundstrength.org. Look at the calendar and go to undergroundbizjournal.com. That's our Strength Coach business newsletter. And don't ever think you're too good. Okay, a lot of guys, a lot of coaches. Hey, I'm just here to learn the business stuff. I love when people tell me that, yet they don't know how to train. They don't know program design. They might know how to train themselves, but they wouldn't know what to do if I said, here you go, take this gym over. There's a lot more to being a strength coach than just knowing how to squat, deadlift, power clean, push up, pull up. It is way beyond that. The journey and the evolution should never stop. I'm out of here, guys. Had an awesome workout. Had a great time sharing thoughts and feelings with you about the guts to be a successful, awesome, great strength coach. Peace.